Good day. Welcome to the brief overview of how to add a new company on the Paymaster Online system. Once you have logged in, you will see your home page. This gives you the options at the top of your screen that says Home, Company and Employee. For this demonstration, you need to click on Company and Add New Company. Once you have clicked on Add New Company, you will be taken to a screen that shows you all the details you are going to need when you're capturing a new company. The easiest way to do this is to make sure that you have all this information at hand so that you don't take too long adding your new company. Once you have the information ready, click on the Next Step button. In the first section, the system is going to ask you for all the details about your company. Let's get started. In the company name section, you will put in the name of your company. Let's call this company Paymaster Training. Under company trading name, it would be the same name as the company name unless you have a different trading name for your company. In the company registration number section, you would put in the number that you receive when you register your company. If you do not have a company registration number, then I suggest you put in some zeros. Let's put in a fictional number for this example. In the VAT number section, you will need to put your VAT number that you have been issued by SARS. If you do not have a VAT number, you can put in 10 zeros. In the PAYE reference number section, here is where you will put the number issued to you when you register your company with the South African Revenue Services. If you do not have your pay-as-you-earn reference number yet, you can put in 9 zeros. Please remember that you need to come back and put your number in as soon as SARS issues it to you. In the tax country section, it defaults to South Africa as this is a South African system. If you are loading a payroll from a different country, select the country from the drop-down list. If you want the system to generate the employee numbers for you, select the option Generate Employee Numbers. If you have your own employee numbers, do not select this option and you will be able to put in your own employee numbers when you load your employees. If you want the employees to have their payslips emailed to them at the end of every month, leave this option selected. Your employees will need to be registered for Employee Self-Service to have this option. If you are not planning on using the Employee Self-Service section, please do not select this option. Once you are done on the screen, please click on the Next tab button, or alternatively you can click on the Next tab at the top. This is the Addresses tab. Here you will need to put the physical and postal address of your company. If the postal address is the same as the physical address, you can select this option. Let's add our address. Once you have completed the address section, click on Next tab or click on the Contact Details tab. In the Contact Details tab, this is where you would put your details or the details of the person who would be running the payroll. In the password section, you will need to use a password that has a minimum of 8 characters, a capital letter, a symbol, and a number. I often default to the word payslip01# with a capital P. Let's use that password here. Once you have completed this section, either click on the Next tab option or click on the Tax Certificate tab. In the Tax Office section, select the SARS office that is closest to you. In our case, it is Cape Town. Once you are done, click on Next tab or click on the UIF STL or Other tab. The UIF reference number. This number needs to be the number that is issued to you by the Department of Labour. Please note that it is not the number issued to you by SARS for when you make the payments. If you do not know your UIF reference number, we suggest contacting the Department of Labour, or alternatively, you can put in zeros until you know what your number is. Please take note that this system automatically sends a data file through to the Department of Labour every month so that their systems are updated. If you have got zeros as your reference number, the system is unfortunately unable to send this data file. So we strongly suggest that you make sure that you have this reference number put into the system as soon as possible. In the UIF contact section, you would put in the name of the person who will receive the correspondence from the Department of Labour once the data file has been processed by them. The UIF contact number is the contact number of the person in the UIF contact person section. And the email address is the same. If you are exempt from paying skills development levy, you would select the option from the drop-down menu next to company STL exemption reasons. In this situation, we are not exempt, so I'm going to leave the option as none. In the product addition section, automatically select light payroll option, unless you know that you're going to be using features such as employee self-service or more detailed sections of the payroll, in which case we can always upgrade you at a later date. Once you have finished the section, click on Save and Next Step. Oh dear, I have put in an invalid reference number. Let me see if it will accept it now. I might need to re-put in my password. Once all the details are correct, you will be taken to the Reminder Contact Details page. This section allows the system to have a reminder email address so that when your payroll is due to be cut off, the system will advise you that you need to get your payroll sorted, otherwise the payroll run is going to close. Let's put in our Harry@helpdesk email address. Once you have completed this section, click on Save and Next Step. This is the company pay frequency section. This section is very important because it tells the payroll when you want your payroll to be cut off, and whether your employees are going to be paid monthly, weekly, or fortnightly. In this case, we're going to select monthly. So we select monthly from the drop-down option. If you would like to change the name of a frequency, for example, monthly management or monthly wage earners, you can change the name here. I'm going to leave it as monthly. Please select your first pay date for this frequency. It would be suggested that you use the very last day of the month. If your staff are paid on the 25th, you can make this date the 25th. Please keep in mind that the payroll system is designed to close the payroll run the morning that you would be transferring the salaries to your staff. So if you make this date the 25th, on the morning of the 24th, the payroll will automatically close. This is why we suggest making it the end of the month, so that should you need to make any changes at the very last minute, the payroll has not automatically closed. I'm going to select the 30th of November for this case. Please select the day this frequency gets paid on. By default, we normally use the very last option, which is the last working day of the month. If you want to change it to be the date that your employees get paid, you can select the date from this drop-down option. If this payday falls on a weekend or public holiday, do you pay them before or after the respective days? Normally, we suggest before. You can make it after if you pay your staff after a public holiday, but generally it should be set to before. Automatic pay indicator default on employee pay rate screen. If this block is ticked, your employees will have a payslip automatically created each and every single month. This is great if you have got monthly paid employees. However, we suggest unticking this option if you have got weekly paid employees, as often what happens is if there are a lot of employees on a payroll and someone hasn't clocked in and shouldn't be paid, the system will not create a payslip for them unless you post hours. So for this case, because this is a monthly paid frequency, I'm going to leave this block ticked. That means that all of my employees that are linked to this frequency will automatically have a payslip created each and every month. In the default frequency hours per day section, for this situation, I'm going to put that my employees work 8 hours a day, and default frequency days per month, they work the average of 21.67 days. That means that they work from Monday to Friday each and every month. In the tax certificate number prefix, you can leave this option blank unless you have got more than one frequency. If you have got more than one frequency and there is no option in here, what will happen when you extract the IRP5 import file for the Easy File program issued by SARS is the files will overwrite each other instead of adding the information when you import them. So this section only needs to be completed if you have got more than one frequency. In the default working days per week, you can either leave these blank or you can select if your employees work specific days of the week. I'm going to select the normal Monday to Friday. Once you have finished all the options on this screen, you can click on Save and Next Step. You can now see the company payslip pay date screen. This shows you all your pay dates for the next few months, at least until the end of the tax year. When you create a new frequency, you are automatically given a take-on run. What this does is it allows you to capture the year-to-date figures for your employees if required. If you are starting your payroll at the beginning of the tax year, which is in March, it's not necessary to capture previous year-to-date figures. As we are in November, it's going to be a good idea for us to capture the year-to-date figures. Unless you start your company in November, then it's not necessary. Once you make sure that these dates are correct, you can click on Move to Next Step. Now we're on the Frequency Payrolls Component Setup screen. This screen lists each and every single component that you can add to your payroll. What I suggest you do is skip over this section. We have got a help video on how to set up components, so it would be a lot easier to go through that help video. My suggestion, scroll to the bottom of the screen and click on Save and Next Step. Now we are on the company payroll component screen. Exactly the same as the last option, there is a whole separate section on how to add components. So what I suggest you do is click on Move and Next Step, and then you will be able to finish adding your new company. Now we're at the bank detail section. Unfortunately, due to the fact that the system is not free, you would need to put your bank details in here. From the account option, you can select from the drop-down selection. You can have a bank account or credit card. In the bank name, you would put the company or the bank that you bank with, which would be ABSA or Nedbank or FNB or whoever you bank with. Branch code for the branch where your account is held, and the account number. Under account type, you would select the type of account that you have. Once you have filled in your bank account details, click Save and Next Step. Oh, now I'm stuck because I haven't put my bank account details in. Once you have clicked on Save and Next Step, after you've put your banking details in, you will be taken to the successful registration screen. This confirms that you have successfully added your company onto the Paymaster online system. Your next step is to start setting up your company. This includes adding all of your employees, setting up all of your components, which are your earnings and your deductions, as well as any other things that you would need, such as positions and leave setup. Have a look at our other videos to see those tutorials. Thank you.